What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So there was a letter that was sent out. I want to take a look at this letter, and this is coming from 3 senators that are concerned about what's going on in the Social Security Administration. There were some delays that we saw, and it was in regards to SSI beneficiaries. So, and that's not just it. We've seen some other things too when it comes to Social Security and how they're making changes. And you have DOGE and you have the Social Security Administration. And are they working together? Are they doing a good job working together, or are we just seeing chaos in the Social Security Administration? And so we're going to take a look at this letter, and it's important for you to watch this video all the way through because there's some really important information, especially at the end of the letter where they want a response to these different questions. So we're going to take a look at all that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this letter that was sent out. It's April 7th that it was sent. It says Leland Dudek, Acting Commissioner, Social Security Administration. And just so you guys know, just to confirm who wrote this letter or who is behind this letter, you have Elizabeth Warren, you have Mark Kelly, and you have Ron Wyden. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the letter. It says, Dear Acting Commissioner Dudek, we write with concern regarding reports we began receiving last week about disruption in Social Security benefits for Supplemental Security Income recipients. Okay, that's SSI. These beneficiaries are some of the most vulnerable in the nation. Low-income seniors and children and adults with disabilities and face extraordinary hardship if their benefits are delayed or disrupted. The reports come as the Trump administration and Elon Musk's DOGE have invaded the Social Security Administration, SSA, improperly accessing SSA data, announced closures of Social Security offices, implemented policies making it more difficult for seniors to claim their benefits or address problems with them, and threaten further cuts to SSA. It would be outrageous if the Trump administration, either due to incompetence or nefarious planning, is already disrupting or threatening to disrupt Social Security payments for the most vulnerable citizens in the country. Our constituents have provided multiple disturbing reports of problems with their own SSI accounts or accounts that they manage for a disabled family member. They informed our office that after signing into their account on Social Security Administration's website, SSA, where they normally see their monthly benefit amount and other information about their benefits, they instead found messages stating that they or their loved ones are currently not receiving payments. The payment history and all data about benefits related to these accounts had also disappeared. Some of these constituents have informed us that the issue was quickly resolved and that their profiles now accurately reflect that they are recipients, but it is unclear if these problems have been fully resolved. This alarming episode raises fresh questions about operations at SSA and the effects of the Department of Government Efficiency's attacks on the agencies which you have helped facilitate. They are just the latest in a slew of concerning developments at the SSA, including increased wait times, website crashes that have resulted in DOGE's efforts to hollow out the SSA by slashing the workforce and closing offices across the country. Indeed, we are concerned that these efforts are a precursor to attempts to make further cuts to Social Security or privatize it entirely. SSI supports the most vulnerable Americans by providing monthly payments to children and adults with disabilities, as well as seniors with very little income or resources. SSI recipients experience economic precarity at high rates, and even brief disruptions to benefits could have devastating impacts for those beneficiaries. 40% of SSI recipients still have incomes below the poverty line, even including their SSI benefits. SSI imposes strict income and asset restrictions on beneficiaries, meaning the people receiving SSI cannot have more than $2,000 in their bank account or $3,000 for a couple at a time. This means that if benefits are disrupted, beneficiaries have extremely limited resources to fall back on. These recent reports of disruption or threats of disruption of Social Security benefits is deeply troubling to understand the sources of these problems, whether they have been resolved, and the implications for future Social Security. We ask that you please respond to the following questions by April 12th 2025. Number one, beginning on March 31st, 2025, how many SSI beneficiaries received notices of their My SSA account indicating that they were currently not receiving benefits? Number two, what was the cause of the misinformation appearing on their accounts? Number three, how long did the misinformation appear on their accounts before the problem was resolved? Number four, how many individuals experienced disruptions in benefits, such as delays or denials of benefits? Number five, what was the cause of these disruptions? Number six, how long did delays or denials of payments last before they were resolved by SSA? Number seven, have you confirmed all the impact beneficiary benefits have been restored? Number eight, has SSA provided any clarification or communication to affected beneficiaries on misinformation? If so, please provide copies of such notices. Number nine, was the disruption related to actions taken by DOGE or actors affiliated with DOGE? Was the disruption caused by layoffs among staff administering SSI or administering SSA's online portal? And then the last part here, did layoffs among staff administering SSI or administering SSA's online portal cause delays in resolving these problems or responding to individuals needing assistance as a result of these problems? Thank you for your attention to this important matter. Sincerely. And you have the signatures here, Elizabeth Warren, Mark Kelly, and Ron Wyden. Okay, so you see, right now there's a lot of stuff going on when it comes to the Social Security Administration. And part of that reason is because you have SSA doing things and then you have DOGE doing things. And so if the communication is not there, then they're going to make mistakes. And it looks like they're making mistakes. And some of these mistakes can really cause major problems, especially for people receiving SSI. Now, understand this, when it comes to SSI, SSI's funding comes from the general fund. It's not coming from the trust funds, the Social Security trust funds. So people who are contributing to Social Security, so they're paying in the FICA contribution, so 6.2% that they pay, and then their employer matches 6.2%. That money goes over to the trust fund. Right now, the trust fund has about $2.6 trillion in it, and then that money comes down and pays out benefits, so people who are currently receiving benefits. That's Social Security. What we're talking about now is SSI. Now, SSI is administered by the Social Security Administration, but the money is coming from the general fund. So I just want to make that clear. But when we're looking at situations where we have websites going down and we have other issues, and we've heard of other issues when it comes to the Social Security Administration currently, and these are some issues that we weren't seeing before, but now we're seeing them, and the talk is that they want to revamp this COBOL system, or actually get rid of this COBOL system and change into another system. And so that is going to cause some disruption there. And so the consumers, us, we're going to probably see some problems when it comes to Social Security, contacting the Social Security Administration, all that. There are a lot of plans that they have right now to make changes to Social Security. And I've been talking about this. I talked about it a few times in January and a few times in February when it comes to the changes for 2025. But they want to make some drastic changes to how Social Security is run. There's said to be talks of closing Social Security offices, although it's unclear right now. That we just know that we have in 2025, I think there's about 26 or 27 offices that their leases end. And the thought was that they would just not extend those leases, and so the office would have to close. And they're talking about moving away from the phone system and moving into the page, the website, which already we're seeing issues with the website. And they're talking about you have more people that are visiting the website right now, and part of that could be because of the issues that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. But they want to move people off the phones and move them onto the website, and that's problematic because you have a lot of people who don't know how to use computers, or they're not comfortable getting online and using the computer to find out their information and all that. And I will tell you, I'm 53. I've been using computers almost my whole life, since 12, 13 years old. But if I'm dealing with money, I really like to talk to people. I don't want to get online and try to figure out, the stuff on my own. I want to be able to talk to someone, and I don't want to get in that little chat window and talk to someone in the chat window, because that's just AI. It's not a person. And so it's automated responses. So if I'm asking questions, they're just going to give me their, this generic response to that. And then generally I have to talk to someone anyway. And so when it comes down to services, when you're providing services, I think the phone is the best way to do it. You could at least talk to someone or actually go to the office, which I think is the absolute best, but they're talking about closing offices, so you might not have an opportunity, or you might have to drive a little further to find a Social Security office. And then when you get there, it's going to be so crowded, you probably have to wait several hours to talk to someone. So the phone, at least I can talk to someone, I can ask them questions, they can respond to the questions that I have. And so I would just be more comfortable talking to someone, but they're trying to phase that out. And that's part of the reason why they're saying, well, we want to lay off, or have people volunteer, 7,000 people volunteer to stop working at the Social Security Administration. I don't want to say be fired, but just be laid off. Let's just say that. And that is going to impact the Social Security Administration. And you saw in this letter, they talked a little bit about that. Is that the reason why we're seeing some issues with the website and some issues in other areas? Is it because they're laying people off, or people are voluntarily leaving? Is that part of the problem? So we'll have to see what they do with this. So there's a date there of April 12th. So hopefully we'll get more information, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys and let you know what that information is. But this is an important letter, definitely an important letter. And so if you're currently receiving SSI, you're going to want to take note of this and see how they respond to this letter. And they also stated in this letter, you have a lot of people receiving SSI. They're living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have a lot of money saved up because they can't. They don't have a lot of assets because they can't. And so if they were to lose payments for 1 month, or their payments were delayed for 1 month, it would be catastrophic. And so just something to think about there. I just wanted to put this video out because this letter just came out a couple of days ago. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.